Hey y'all, welcome back to Babeinlibrary. It's your girl Lisa, and today we are starting the Moon vlog. This is a collaboration with, of course, the queen of collaborators, Becky herself. And I am trolling her today because I am using my little microphone. But neither here nor there. I promise you, Becky, it will not be the entire video. I just needed to check in with you all because I have started the vlog. And I've started by reading Beast by Sky Moon. So this is a double moon prompt because one, the author has moon in her last name, and on the audiobook cover, there is an actual moon. Now, this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling and set into an urban kind of space. You have our main male character, Asim. Asim is an island boy and he is looking for revenge. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened because you get that in the prologue and it blew my mind. Like, I was like, okay, all right, we starting off strong. But he's coming to the States and he's looking for revenge. And in doing so, he gets caught enacting his revenge by our FMC's father. Now, our FMC, her name is Reagan. Now, she is a librarian. So, again, very much giving that Belle feeling. Her father, Marshall, sees Asim trying to enact his revenge. And so he goes and tries to put a stop to it. And of course, then you have Asim saying, okay, well, I'm going to take him as captain, lock him up in my dungeons. And of course, Reagan is like, I love and adore my father. He's gone missing. Let me see if I can find him. Again, very Beauty and the Beast. Now, it took me until then where I was like, okay, I can see the vibes. I see where we're going here, Sky Moon. Then she gets there and she's like, okay, well, I will trade myself for my father. Very on par. Now I am seeing him take her and they're leaving to go back to the island. And it's then that I start to put the rest of the characters together. So I believe his aunt is Mrs. Potts. I believe his two cousins are Lumiere and Cogsworth. And it's very interesting because one cousin is named Lucian and the other cousin is named Chauncey. And so I'm like, okay, all right, pieces are falling together. And the place where I just finished is where he was like, oh, you don't want to go eat? Starve then. Lock yourself in the room. I said, okay, all right, Sky Moon, hit us over the head. Don't need to worry about it. I understand. I understand the vibes. And when you have a retelling that goes in that manner, I'm here for it. So I cannot wait to see what my thoughts are. I do know that so Sky Moon, one of her best writing partners is Bella J, and Bella J has the Aladdin version and it's known as Power. I can't wait to read that because all of these ladies, so Sky Moon is going to be at Petal and Prose, which I will be at, and so will Bella J. So I probably will read Power, but just not for this video. And so this is what I'm reading for my moon prompt. Now, once I finish that, I also will be picking up To the Moon by Evelyn Latrice, who will also be at Petal and Prose. So again, I'm knocking down my authors that are going to be at the event that I'll be at in May. And so I'm just trying to knock as many of these as I can down. And it just so happens that all of them have moon in the title. So To the Moon, which is a football romance, coming of age story. I believe this is still going to be adult, but it starts in the childhood space. And this is one that I'll be picking up shortly. So I'm going to finish reading Beast, and then hopefully I can give you guys an update of To the Moon, because these are the two I'm prioritizing for this vlog. I have one more, but I don't know if I'm going to finish it, being that today is Monday and this vlog is due on Saturday. So, hey y'all, I realized I forgot an essential detail to give you an update about this book. Reagan's ex-boyfriend, who is a no good, low down something, Gabriel. I forgot a central piece to the story. He's very much Gaston. How did I miss this? Don't know. But Gabriel is running in the same crew as Asim, but they not homeboys. They actually rivals because both of them are one step under in the Lost Boys gang. And so Gabriel has never liked Asim. Asim could care less about Gabriel. Like, Asim don't even register that Gabriel think that they on the same wavelength. Marshall, again, who is Reagan's daddy, is about to tell Gabriel what happened to him, and that he's been looking for Reagan, and Reagan is gone with the scene. And that's just gonna send Gabriel off the handles, because Reagan is already done with the man, because he cheated on her and had a baby. So Reagan ain't been messing with him for months at this point, and Gabriel is obsessed. Gabriel is very much giving God's time, but on 1,000, because he just is off his rocker and he can't let her go. Like, he's like, nah, you my woman, it don't matter that I messed up, we supposed to be together. And that just reminded me how much Bell Daddy and the Beast really did irritate me, because sir, you be quiet, just be quiet and live your life. You in Beauty and the Beast, really, honestly, you get your affairs messed up, and then you brought your daughter into it. In this situation, okay, I can't be mad at you because you was being a stand-up man. I really, in this book, you was being a stand-up guy. I would want my daddy to stick up for a young woman like he did, like Marshall did here. However, now we're going awry, and you're talking to Gabriel, and we don't like him in the first place. Like, you knew your daughter wasn't messing with him, but you're in your feelings, you're in your emotion, you're like, okay, well, let me get this big bag to go get this other big bag. Baby, your daughter is about to be living her best life, and you finna mess it up. Ugh.
Okay, I'm only 5 pages. So, what are you reading, Lisa?
I am reading Bones at the Crossroad, which is not for my moon pick, but it's due in 1 day, so I'm beating the clock to get it done.
What time is it due?
Huh?
What time? Like, what time does it get returned?
Right now it just says 1 day, so hopefully, like, when the hours start, it's a 18-hour audiobook, but luckily I'm at like 80%, so I've got like 3 hours or something like that. I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
Because if I was
they don't have that option anymore where you can, like, hold it for a couple more days or something.
No, because, and especially when people are trying, like, someone else is holding on the book. So
Yeah.
I don't know. All my fantasy holds kind of came back to back. And so I'm like, I've got 3 loading. I said, I can't do them all at the same time.
Yeah. I know. I had to put, like, all of my holds came in at once, so they're all suspended now, and this is the first time I'm trying the new Libby suspend instead of, like, and I'm like, okay, so we'll see, this is the test.
Yes.
Am I gonna get it right away when I unsuspend it, like you say? I know, yeah.
It doesn't. I was like, no, I need the constant pushback. And you're like, hey, do you want to date me now? No, yeah. I just hold off for a second. When they say suspend, I'm like, I will never remember to go and suspend this.
Right, exactly. I haven't tried that yet. Especially because, like, a couple of days ago, they had that glitch where, like, nothing was showing up on the shelves and syncing. So I'm like,
okay,
where will my holds go?
I thought I was tripping. I just kept pressing the button, and I was like, I'm just going to keep pressing.
Yeah. They made, like, an announcement. Like, I saw on, like, one of their social media pages that it was, like, a glitch. And I'm like, okay, well, at least I know it's not me. Hopefully it'll come back.
Yeah.
So is that how that works? If you suspend it and then you unsuspend it, it's available to you right away?
No.
It's supposed to be, but it doesn't work that way.
No.
So they changed it, whereas you used to be able to, like, just postpone it, like, if you're not ready for, like, a week or whatever it is. Yeah, they did away with that now. So now it's suspend, and then when you're ready to unsuspend it, you can unsuspend it. And they say, oh, you'll go right back to the front of the line when you unsuspend, but I tried it once, and it was like another 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was not a popular book.
It's time for a quick check-in. I did finish Beast. I'm rating this a 4-star. I really enjoyed this one. This one is for any Disney fans, if you're a Disney lover like me. More specifically, if you like Beauty and the Beast, highly recommend this one. It has all of the natural elements that you're used to in the story, and then it heightens it by giving it that urban romance feel. I really appreciate how Sky Moon got her lick back for our characters in this story. Specifically, looking at what happened to Sage, which is Asim's ex-girlfriend, and then how we wrapped up the story with Gabriel at the end. You know, poetic retelling, poetic justice. I thought it was actually really cute how this found family kind of just like surrounded each other and made sure to know that they were loved and appreciated. I was a little concerned because I was like, okay, you mean to tell me Reagan's best friend Karina allowed her to drop off the face of the planet for months and we never saw her concern, her care? But Sky Moon did something interesting, in my opinion, is in the epilogue, she kind of gave a little foreshadowing to Karina having her own love story. And I'm thinking that it was probably supposed to be another one of our fairy tales. But I believe we only have Beast and Power that was released. I think Karina was supposed to get her own spinoff, but something happened there. So if you know more about what was supposed to happen with Karina, or if Sky Moon wrote her love story but it was outside of the Urban Fairy Tale series, please let me know, because I was left with a little bit of morsel and I am chewing at the bit. But all in all, would highly recommend Beast, again, if you are a retelling fan. Now, I have since picked up To the Moon, and I plan on reading this tonight because this vlog is supposed to go up tomorrow, and so I am chasing against time. But one thing I'm not chasing is this story. This story, I am devouring it. I am thoroughly enjoying what Evelyn is doing, even though I'm a little concerned that this is very new adult. And some of the actions that are happening in this storyline, I'm like, should I be enjoying this? Like the way that Javen is talking. Let me rewind, because I'm talking to you all as if you know what this story is. This is To the Moon. This is the first in the Eighth Wonder series. This is centering our male main character, Javen, who is on the cover. Javen is portrayed to be a athlete that is going places, and he comes from a rough background. So the one thing I will say about Evelyn Latrice is this is truly a urban story based on the fact that all of these kids come from the trenches. You have Javen, who is living with his grandfather. His grandfather is currently suffering from kidney failure, which is such a hard thing to read. So please be mindful that it does have some heavier topics. I almost broke down when there was a scene where Javen had to come to grips of the mortality of his grandfather. And he's been living with his grandfather since his parents gave him up. His parents are drug addicts, and so they felt it best for him to be raised by his grandfather. His grandfather is also a pseudo grandfather for I'm gonna call them the Solar Kids. Or the Mooney family. So the female main character of this story is Luna. Luna is the twin sister of Javen's best friend, Lunar, who has been killed at the beginning of this story. So Javen and Luna have always kind of been around each other, but now they're being brought closer because they have lost a mutual, and Luna is now the matriarch of her family because her mother is also an addict and is not able to take care of her kids. So Luna is now the matriarch for her two younger siblings. She has a sister named Solar, which I absolutely adore. Solar is my girl, and I hope we get to see a lot more of her story. I was hopeful that we were going to get her story, but I don't think that she's getting one. So Solar is her younger sister by 4 years, and then her youngest baby brother name is Kamar. And they do not have anywhere to stay, so they are also staying with Javen's grandfather. And in this, they are all kind of orphaned, and they are they're raising each other. So Javen and Luna are in fact kind of like parental figures to the other two young kids, because Javen's grandfather is not able to be present in the way in which he would like to be. He is there in body and in mind. However, he is fighting the good fight of staying alive. That being said, these kids are suffering from the world's darkest type of dealt hand that they've been given. And there is another character named French. French is Javen's other best friend, and French is also younger. He's about 16, I want to say, or 15. And French also has a mother and a grandmother that kind of pimps him out and makes him go out into the streets, because French does not have an education because he is forced to bring money back home into his family. And so all of these kids are trying to figure out how to stay alive, how to care for one another, and finish high school. Now, Luna has just turned 18, and now she is looking to make sure her family can stay together. She has also been given a inheritance, and so now it's time to figure out what she can do to make everyone's life better. She knows that Javen has ambitions of going to the NFL. She has fallen in love with him, but she knows that she needs to keep him separate. And then she knows French is doing the best that he can, and her little sister has a crush on him, so she wants to make sure that he's protected. And then she has her little sister and little brother that she's caring for. This is very interesting because this goes to the fact of these children are very young in age, but they are old in spirit and in mind. They have had to deal with a lot of hardships that no kid should ever have to go through, and they're doing the best that they can, while also hoping and dreaming and wishing for more. They get an opportunity, and those opportunities span more, but how do they stay connected versus where those opportunities will lead them? Like I said, Javen has ambitions of going to the NFL, but he is underage, and if his grandfather does wind up eventually passing away, he may be placed into a foster system. So how can they keep the family together? There is a creative way in which Jason, the grandfather, and Luna come up with, which I'm not going to spoil it for you, but that's a very interesting twist to this. Like I said, Luna has dreams and ambition. She wants to be more than a mother figure. She is a child herself. She's just freshly 18, and she has been giving all of this responsibility, but she has also been given a very well blessing in terms of the inheritance she receives. And then you've got Solar, who is bucking back in the system. She is your typical teenager. She has big ideas, big feelings, big thoughts, and she's pushing back. She wants her sister to be her sister and not her mother. She wants her mother to get her life together. She wants to continue to have a relationship with her little brother, and she's missing the brother that has passed away. And so she's dealing with a lot of feelings and emotions, and she clings to Frenchie, who is her age and also someone she has feelings for. And so how their relationship works out, because now they're all in this forced proximity type of environment. And the Kumar, who is such a precious little boy, and he has such beautiful innocence, but he's also dealing with, where does he stand? He is always kind of seen as the run of the situation, but he wants to be the man now that his big brother is gone, and he is feeling these feelings. So again, this is a tough coming of age of story, but it is so well done. I am really enjoying myself. I'm finding moments to laugh. I'm finding motions to rage. I have feelings of sadness when it comes to seeing what they go through. I am also very concerned because, like I said earlier in this clip, Javen, who is our male main character, kind of our love interest in here. He is 17, but baby, the way he is talking to Luna, the way he is going through some of these situations, I'm like, I don't know how to feel about how you're coming off, sir, but when we fast forward and you become a grown man, I can see that you're going to become a problem. This is where it's very problematic to read this, because I'm like, I don't feel comfortable, and yet tell me more. All right, it is time for a check-in, but before I do that, I have 2 packages of books that I got in the mail today. This first one is, it is Boomtown by Nick Stone. This is her first adult novel. I did get this as a giveaway from one of my mutuals on Instagram. This is labeled as Gone Girl mixed with P-Valley, and I'm very intrigued. It is about a woman who is doing some sleuthing and going around trying to figure out why two exotic dancers are going missing in Atlanta, and how she can look for these women because no one is valuing their story, no one is valuing them, because most people think that when you hear an erotic dancer going missing, it's like no big deal. But I am very interested in this. I believe it is also sapphic. This is going to be my first book by Nick Stone, so I'm very intrigued to read this, and I probably will be prioritizing it for Noir November. In addition to that, I did pick up a Brain NDA for Breetober. I am very excited. If you know about Brienne's packaging, you know it smells divine. So I was able to get this cute little, I believe it's like a thank you note in here, but it has like a bookshelf. This is just very luxe packaging. Brienne is always so thoughtful, so I was able to get a bookmark. And then just like this very cute thank you message from her. So this comes in her packaging, and then you have the coup de grace. One thing about Brienne, her warehouse smells divine, and so I'm always grateful when I get a package, just because you know it's going to like sense up the room. I did get Forever in a Moment. This is the bind up of the first two in the Evermore series, and so I needed to make sure I copped this one for Breetober, because after this she is no longer selling these editions. The only way that you may find it is if you happen to go to an in-person event and she has them, but after this Breetober, that's it, they're done. I am kicking myself because I did not get book 2. She hadn't released what the cover looks like, and of course it's gorgeous. I'm going to put a picture up here. I'm going to see if I can get my hands on that one, but I'm glad to have Forever in a Moment in the hardback. And then I did pick up the bind up of the Friends with Benefits series. This is a 7-book series, very short novellas, all bind up into one, and it follows the different love languages. So I have read book 1, which was centered on words of affirmation, I want to say, and I can't wait to read the rest. I do know that there's a holiday novella that I think is in this bind up as well, perfect for the season. So this is what I was grateful to pick up. It has the 5 love languages, so very interested. So that was my Brienne Dene order. It is time to wrap up To the Moon. I'm conflicted, y'all. Let's get into it. For me, I thought I was going to love this. Everyone has rated this 5-star that I follow. Everyone absolutely ate this down. The storyline was good, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the storyline. The things that Evelyn was doing in this book of showing like kids having to grow up faster than necessary, them having to have that found family element and depending on one another, seeing each other through the hardship, loving each other, knowing that someone had to love them because their parents didn't necessarily know how to show it or the best ways to give them that love. A lot of the touching moments that I mentioned earlier about grief and loss. These kids have literally been through hell and back multiple times, and the way in which Evelyn wrote this, she did a damn good job of like making sure that the characters were flawed but loved, and you felt for them. You wanted to see them win, and when it rained, it did not just rain and pour, it turned into a hurricane. Every time something happened, it was like 3 things happening at once, starting with a time where Tiny came back into the picture. Now, Tiny is the girlfriend of Lunar. Lunar, again, is the character that we are grieving their loss. Tiny is coming back into town, and when she came back, all hell broke loose. Like, that day had so much compacted in, and I said, oh, these must be Beyonce 24 hours, because the amount of things that unfolded in that 24 hours, I said, oh, Evelyn is not playing with these young kids. That was the first debacle. And then run it back again. There was another time where the 24 hours, I said, what do you mean we're going to the club? Things are popping off at the club. This person is getting into it with this person who's getting into it with this person. Then the police get called and blah, 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 blah. What are we doing, Evelyn? So from a writing standpoint, storyline standpoint, exquisite. I had all of the emotions wrapped into this. However, from a romance standpoint, baby, I'm not a fan. I had so many issues to the point of which I was at 67%. I was ready to throw this book across the room. I definitely had to fight not to DNF it because I was just so upset. And again, I was here for a lot of the tit for tat. I was sad, let me tell you. I understood these two, Luna and Javen, they got together real young. They are soulmates. They were destined to be with one another. Life just got in the way, and they had to, like I said, grow up way too fast. And so it put them in a situation where they did what they needed to in order to keep their family whole, in order to make sure everyone got to be together and that the foster system didn't come in. So I understood the necessity of them getting together. Now, what drove me mad, amongst a number of things, is the fact that they held each other to a standard of like, we've got to see this through, we have to make it work. And sometimes it felt like they would have just been better at like completely severing ties. But where it gets complicated is because they're family, right? They are so close knit and together. They were best friends and lovers, and family members felt like kindred souls, but they drug so many people through their heart. Now, I'm not mad about Barbie. I hate to see that Barbie went through what she went through, but like Javen said, Barbie wasn't really interested in him. She was interested in who he was going to become. He was going to be an NFL star. He was going to be this. So like Barbie, he signed up Barbie, and Barbie knew what the contract said. She had read the fine print. She just decided to ignore the fine print. Barbie is a female character that Javen meets in college when he is away from Luna, and they start to mess around. He had told her off tops, you're never going to be number one. Number one is already, the spot is already reserved, and Luna's not coming up off of it. And so like, while I felt bad for her, I understood exactly where their situation lied. What I did have a hard time with is what Luna put Jay through. And I do know that Evelyn is going to give Jay his own insta love story. And everyone is not happy in the reviews, again, not happy about his love story because he still felt like he was played. And I'm like, bro, Jay is too good of a man. The way he loved and was there for Luna, never pushed her. Like, Luna had good men in her life. She had a good role model in Jason. She had a best friend in Javen. She had a great love in both Javen and Jay. And I'm like, Jay didn't deserve this. So do know that this does have infidelity. And y'all know me. On this channel, I don't mind infidelity in my book. Fictional, right? However, I cared too deeply for all of these characters for me to sit and watch it. And I think I knew what type of time it was going to be on when Javen had already started with Sweet Pea. When I started reading him not being with Luna and always saying, hey, I'm not the man you need right now. I'm not the man you need right now. Well, baby, figure it out fast. Stop doing all of these other things. It does not matter that they can't never have your heart. I don't want them to have your heart or your body. So like that irritated me because I was so frustrated at them choosing to suffer. And I get it. They had to grow. They had to grow into be the adults they were going to be. But it also pissed me off that Luna blamed it on Jason. Jason, who is again the father figure, said, hey, you got to let him become the man he needs to be. You need to let him go. He needs to be able to follow and pursue his dreams for him to do X, Y, and Z. Baby, you decide to hold on to that. Do not blame Jason. When you're not out here blaming Stephanie, your mama, you want to be with her. And again, I'm glad that Stephanie got her life together. She was going to be on a family I'd like to fight if she didn't get herself together. Because again, Stephanie left Luna in the position where she had to take care of her siblings as if she was the mother. And I did like the reconciliation in the book when Stephanie was like, okay, let me take my responsibilities back. Let me take the burden, let you be a child. But at that point, baby, it was too late. Lives had been damaged. There's so many things that went on. I was glad to see Tiny get her happily ever after. And I was like, ooh, that's a whirlwind. Oh, let's talk about my last thing. Let's talk about Solar and French. Baby, the way that they played on my top this entire time, I was like, oh my gosh, just get it together. Y'all are almost worse than Javen and Luna. Like, y'all been playing this entire time. French, if you don't just say, yeah, you want the girl and stop wasting her time, and then coming back to, like, tie her up in a way that you got tied up by you claiming, you know. I almost wish they would have had their own book, but again, to have sat through their mess, that's the thing that I'm stressing over. The books are written so well. Evelyn writes the shit out of this. However, I'm not really a fan of the romances, and I don't know if I should keep going with the Eighth Wonder, because Quamar, I know I'm gonna be upset. I have a feeling that Quamar is going to do something that's gonna make me mad, and I like him the way that I see him. So, all in all, I don't know how to feel about this. I'm a middle of the road. Like I said, I don't know what to rate it. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it. Everyone seems to love it, but it didn't land for me in the romance category. But otherwise, you give it a try and tell me what you think. That being said, of course, leave me a moon emoji, because in this vlog we read To the Moon and we read Beast. If you have read these, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. And I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.